the day that I'm gonna get good at making intros. Assalamualaikum everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be making ramen and answering all of your questions from my Instagram question sticker. Hopefully this video is not 3 hours long. It's always in between. Why are my videos always 3 minutes or an hour 20? Anywho, I'm craving ramen. Our guest stars for today are the Bulldog artificial spicy chicken flavor ramen carbonara. Let me tell y'all, I didn't like that ramen at first, but ever since I started doing it like in this recipe, I don't think I've ever had better ramen in my life. I love how I thought a multitasking video was gonna be good for me when I literally can't multitask to save my life. But it's just ramen, like how hard can it be? So for these kind of videos, I don't like to plan what I'm gonna answer or like read it before, because then my answers are planned and not on the spot. Look how good my coffee was today. Literally, wow. Can we just take a moment? I asked you guys if you wanted a coffee recipe on YouTube or TikTok, and most people said YouTube, so that's gonna be my next video for sure. I've perfected it, and I'm so proud of myself because I'm not buying coffee. I'm making it at home, and it's better than outside coffee, so what do we have to say to that? So currently just boiling the water for the ramen, and then I'll do my whole concoction, which I will tell you guys about, don't even worry. Oh, I need another egg. 2 eggs, actually. I just realized when I made ramen the other night, I forgot to put the egg yolk. Girl, that's like the whole part. Okay, shall we start getting into the questions or what? Let's see what you guys asked me. I'm so excited. I love doing Q&As because it's just an excuse for me to get talking. All right, here we go. So usually when I do this, I do like a little Russian roulette, which is like I literally scroll through all the questions and then a random one pops up. But that means it's gonna be all over the place. But that's on brand, so let's just do it. Okay, first question. How was the trip to Algeria and would you ever move there? So my Algeria trip was beautiful. It was great. I feel like 2 weeks is like the perfect amount of time to go somewhere without like, you know, being like too much on people. Like hosting people is a lot, so I'm glad my family didn't have to do it for that long. I loved seeing everybody. This like, it's like those, you know, those TikToks that are like, am I depressed or is it just my environment? It's just your environment, because being in Algeria, everything is beautiful. The people are beautiful. Seeing family, seeing just a pretty place to live is just, I love it. And obviously being surrounded by Muslims is my favorite thing. I'd like to go again with the rest of my family because they didn't get to come with me this time. And the last time we all went together was literally 7 years ago. So I had so much fun. How has the move been? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, also my water's boiling. Let me not forget that I'm also trying to cook right now. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I recently moved from Florida to Pennsylvania because my husband's school. I only lived in Florida for like 5 months, but I'm gonna live here for like a year. So to answer your question, I actually haven't moved into my actual place here yet. I'm in an Airbnb because my move-in date is late. So I haven't got to see my place yet, but I'm really excited for that. That's coming up soon. I feel like in an Airbnb, like I can't fully unpack, obviously. So it's like a mess everywhere, but alhamdulillah for the Airbnb. And I'm honestly just trying to live like normal, like cooking. I stocked that fridge over there. I'm going to the gym and stuff. So I'm trying to, you know, get used to the Pennsylvania environment. So to answer your question, I literally cried the first night I was here. I had a little bit of a mental breakdown, but I was about to get my period, so let's go ahead and blame it on that. Also, before I came to Pennsylvania, I was in Texas for a whole month and a half, like almost 2 months with my family and my friends, alhamdulillah. Like, so I transitioned from Florida, went to go visit my family in Texas, and then moved here. So I had a good amount of time to like, you know, see everybody before I come here. And the flights from Pennsylvania to Texas are quite expensive. So I figured I wasn't gonna see them that often like I used to see them when I was in Florida. So all the emotions really got to me. And I feel like Pennsylvania is very different from Texas. I don't know. Moving is hard for anybody, I hope. I love moving to like new houses and new like apartments. That's fun to me. But moving states or moving across the US, I didn't know about that one. But inshallah I like it here, I hope. I did just make friends in Florida before I left, so having to leave after that was so annoying because I did not want to start over. But here we are. I'm exactly where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to be, so I'm trying to be okay with that because He can see the big picture and I cannot. Okay, next question. How do you stay consistent with deen? That's crazy because my next podcast is literally the fact that deen is not consistent. I have felt like a huge low after Ramadan. Like, at first, like, I held on to it a little bit, but then there was like, everyone knows like after Ramadan there's like a crash that happens usually where you just don't feel as close to your deen as you did before. And so I would say what I've been trying to do is surround myself more with Islam, so lectures. I'm trying to go to the masjid more, but like going to new masjids gives me like anxiety a little bit. So I would say surrounding yourself with people who talk and care about the deen, and then listening, like basically just surrounding yourself with deen. Feel me? I just started this new series that my friend put me on called Names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Attributes, and I love it. Just listening to it when I'm at the gym is making me feel like I'm gaining knowledge. And I'm also working on my salat because I talked about how I'm working on my khushu' and being like more focused. So just actively trying to be better will make you feel like more consistent with your deen, you know what I mean? If you see yourself in a point where you're like, whoa, like I'm not doing anything to be better right now. I'm not improving my hijab, I'm not improving my salat, I'm not improving my character or how I am with people. I'm not, you know, all that stuff, then obviously you're not gonna feel consistent with your deen. Where do you buy clothes as a hijabi in the summer? Girl, honestly, I have no idea where to buy clothes for the summer, and I know a lot of people have been asking me for summer outfit inspo. Girl, I'm gonna ask you back. You give me the inspo because I have no idea. But what I do love is Pinterest. She's my baby. I will always and forever open Pinterest when I need an outfit. I'm literally going to Toronto tomorrow, inshallah, and I'm opening Pinterest because who else is gonna tell me what to wear? If you're not using Pinterest, girl, catch up because that's the way to go. I would say, honestly, if I were you, for like a tangible answer, I would go to Ross and Marshalls because they be having some cute flowy things. I don't know if modesty is in now for other people, but go get those modest things before they start making the crop tops again. I would also say thrift. Why are we not thrifting? Like, thrifting is just people's clothes that they don't want anymore, but when you buy it from like other places and a bunch of like websites, of course they're trying to follow the trends, and they're not, most of the time they're not modest. So go thrifting and find oversized things and flowy things and then make your own outfits, you know? Okay, the ramen's ready, so here's my recipe. You're gonna add 1 egg yolk, tablespoon of hoisin sauce, tablespoon of Kewpie mayo. That's it. That's literally all you need. And obviously the sauce packets from the actual ramen, the bulldog sauce, and then it has the cheese powder stuff. So I'm gonna add that all to my wok of ramen. I'm so excited. Anyways, let me answer another question while I'm at it. How did you convince your parents to marry young and not an Algerian? That's a good question. So I didn't have to convince them to marry like someone who's not Algerian because, alhamdulillah, my parents are very open-minded and they believe in marrying someone who's righteous, someone who's on the deen, a good person, people have good things to say about them, not necessarily their background, which Islamically is what we should be doing. Unfortunately, a lot of parents stay very cultural and they fall into the you need to marry from your own culture, sometimes your own like specific neighborhood or like area, which is crazy to me. But we have to understand that they're different generations and we need to be creative in ways to open their minds. So I don't have any advice on how to like help with that. But how did you convince your parents to marry young? To be honest, I didn't have to. I had to convince myself to marry young because whenever my husband was interested in me, I was like no, like I don't think I'm ready for that. Like I don't think I'm ready. So I didn't want to bring it up to my parents, but I did eventually, and surprisingly, my dad was like very okay with it. Like, alhamdulillah, he was like, okay, bismillah, like let's do this. And I was like, whoa, like what the heck? I did not think you'd be okay with me getting married young. For context, I got married a week after I turned 21. But I feel like if you want to convince your parents to marry young, you have to show them that you understand like what you're getting into and that you're ready for the responsibilities of marriage. Basically, they just want to, most parents just want to see the plan. Like, what's y'all's plan? You know, like getting married young, you do need a plan because usually either the guy doesn't have a job yet or you're still in school and all these things. So I would say just like having them understand that if you get married, this is how it's gonna go, you know? Did that make sense? Okay, next question. What are your interests right now? If it's a personal question, I don't mind being unanswered. First of all, so sweet and considerate. Not a personal question because I don't have any interests. I think one of the questions I hate the most is what are your hobbies? Because girl, first of all, they change every 2 days. It's either that or I don't have any. So let me think what I like to do right now. I like to cook. I do enjoy cooking actually. Not like big cooking, like you know, like out of recipes and things like that. I don't know how to do that yet. I really enjoy making YouTube videos. That's what I've been doing right now. I enjoy making coffee, like perfecting my drink. I really enjoy FaceTiming my sisters. Like I'm literally on the phone with them all the time. Sometimes my friends. I enjoy... Oh my god, I always leave the stove on. Like, I'm just separating the yolk from the egg right now so that I can add it to my ramen. Perfect. Usually I like adding a runny boiled egg to my ramen, but since I already use egg yolks for the actual ramen, I'm like, okay, I don't want to take 2 more eggs, so I just pan fry the egg yolks. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. Oh, I don't want to like move the camera to show you guys. Sorry. Okay, next question. What's it like quitting TikTok? Do you get sometimes FOMO? Wait, I didn't quit TikTok. You know what? I did quit for like 8 months. You know why? Because at that point, alhamdulillah, I made the decision to not use any music in my videos. And when you try to fit into an app that's primarily for music videos, it's kind of hard. So I was like, well, I can't do any of the trends. I can't really show off like my outfits unless I use like the same nasheed audios, or like there's just not that many audios that I could use. So at that point I kind of was like, well, there's no point. But I do like the audience that I have on TikTok. It's a larger audience, they're really fun. So whenever I have like something to say, like my hijab video that I made recently, or you know, like a fun little vlog like come with me to New York, then I'll do it. But other than that, posting consistently on TikTok, like it becomes something that I struggle with because I want to use the music, you know? Like I want to use the music audios and stuff. So if it's gonna compromise my deen, I'd rather stay away from it. But yeah, to answer your question, I do get FOMO. And honestly, I can just post videos of like me talking and stuff. But I've only recently started putting my personality on social media, like probably less than a year, maybe 2. No, not 2. And so I'm not like 100% comfortable just being myself on TikTok. I feel like YouTube is easier for that, especially my podcast. What do you look for in friendships? I look for no small talk. Like I can't, at this point in my life, like if I have to do like a hey girly, oh my god, I like your outfit so much, like oh my god, where did you get it from, like wow, I'm just gonna back out. Because I like when people can be open and vulnerable and real and not like, there's nothing wrong with a hey girly. I love sweet hey girly girls, but I prefer like more low maintenance friendships where like I just prop up the like FaceTime call. I'm like, what are you doing? Cooking? Cool. And then we just both shut up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I look for people who are on their deen because I need people to push me. You know what I mean? Like I value friends so much that if I get a friend that's not really like, and this doesn't mean they have to be like great on the deen, you know what I mean? This just means they have to be trying. Like I have a friend who really opened my eyes to the fact that if in your conversation or in your hangout or in whatever, you go home and you realize like you didn't even like mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like one time, it was a waste of time. Like it was really a waste of time. So being with people who remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bring up his name, and you just benefit, you know, like those are the hangouts I like. I love those. Anyways, my ramen's done, so I'm just gonna answer a few more questions. I'm just kidding. I'll like plate the ramen and stuff because I feel like I've only answered like 3. Okay, let me rapid fire them now. I know we all say we trust Allah, but how do you really reach that level of tawakkul? You know what? I actually just heard a lecture about this. I feel like it goes back to contentment. Like you are content with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you, good or bad in your eyes. Obviously, everything he gives us is good. Like, overly complaining about your situation shows that you're not actually trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if you knew for a fact that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was doing for you and the timeline of your life and how everything's playing out is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who loves you, then you wouldn't really be complaining about it, you know? That's why it's so hard to reach tawakkul, because, I mean, imagine not complaining about anything. Like, that's the point I want to get to, because I have that much trust that every single thing that happens in my life is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted it to happen and it was good for you. You know what I mean? I heard another sheikh once say that we always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for things, but then when he gives us the opportunity, we are upset at it. Like, if you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase your patience, like help you be a more patient person, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you situations where you can be patient, but instead you're upset with the situation, or you didn't take advantage of that opportunity. You know what I mean? Am I making sense? I don't know. How do you stay consistent at the gym? I don't. I'm sorry, if your question has the word consistent in it, just know you've asked the wrong person, because I am not consistent to save my life, and I would love to be, but I'm just really not. But what I do... Bottom. I used to think like every time I fell off the gym, when I started again, it was a day one. But instead now I've rephrased my mind to think like, okay, if I go to the gym for like a week, like 7 days, and then I don't go for 2 weeks, when I go back, it's day 8. It's not day 1. You know what I mean? Just to give myself more confidence in like, this is my gym journey. This is not me falling off every single time. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to get anything done. What I do like to do, okay, so what I did recently is I made like a workout plan for myself, because if you don't have a plan before you go to the gym, you most likely are not going to have a good session and you're not going to continue. You know what I mean? Like, I used to be someone who went to the gym and every single time I did something different. Like, yes, I hit legs or I hit upper body and stuff like that, but I always did different things. I wasn't even hitting the same exact muscle every time. So I actually, if anybody wants that workout plan, let me know, because I'll just copy paste it. But so as you can see, I have like a day 1 upper body, day 2 lower body, day 3 full body hit, day 4, so that I'm actually following those things and repeating them. That has helped me stay consistent recently, because again, I quote unquote fell off and now I'm back. But I didn't fall off, I just took a break, and breaks are good for your body. So don't think I'm some like crazy gym girl, because the only reason I go to the gym is because I don't like how I look. And I need to rephrase that, and I need to go to the gym so that I can be fit and healthy. Dream job. So most of you guys know that I graduated with a bachelor's in teaching and learning. So obviously my dream is to work with children, work with teaching. My dream job, honestly, is to have my own school with the Montessori method, and I would love for it to be like an Islamic school, but to be open to the community. Maybe I won't do that, I don't know, but that's my goal, inshallah, in the future. Before that, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Probably gonna work at different places for experience, maybe public school, maybe private school, I don't know yet. But for now, I'm not working. I haven't decided if I want to find a job here in Pennsylvania. It kind of scares me because, again, new places. But anywho, how to deal with the thoughts of being late to everything in life and consistently comparing myself to others. Again, one of my friends, this is why I value my friends, because when you choose the right friends and when you surround yourself with people who remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you just leave with so many gems. So I used to be someone who always thought like, oh, I should have been there, I should have been doing this, or look what all these people are doing and I'm not doing that yet, or why am I here and they're there? That goes back to trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if you're not secure in where you are, now obviously you can have like some feelings of anxiety or some feelings of like stress, but if you're like insanely insecure about where you are in life, then that shows that you don't have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I am guilty of this too. I'm even guilty, like I struggle with this. Because it's really hard when you can't visualize the big picture, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that everything He gives us is good, and everything is written. So it's supposed to give us some peace of mind to know that this is exactly where you're supposed to be right now. For example, all of my friends went to one of my friends' weddings that I didn't get to go to, and I was so like, oh, I wanted to go so bad, and I still like have those feelings, like I regret not going, I missed out on so much. And then I remember her telling me, where you are now is exactly where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had planned you to be. So there was no other place for you to be. Like right here, standing here making ramen and like making this video is exactly where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written that I would be. I'm supposed to be right here. You know what I mean? Like does that help or make sense? That's how I help myself with like not comparing. You know what I mean? You should only compare yourself when it comes to deen. Like you should only have like this healthy jealousy of people who are like strong in their deen. You know, like if I see someone who's like dressing really modestly or like praying all of her sunnahs or reading Quran and learning and teaching and just doing a lot of good like things Islamically, I should be jealous of that. I should be like, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? But we shouldn't be jealous of other people's situations or the way their life played out. Like it's not meant for you, period. And this is why it's so important to learn Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names, and that's why I started this series on YouTube. Because if you really understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most loving, He named Himself the most loving, then you can start to feel that the things that He gives you is out of love. But because we don't study our religion enough, and because we just work on the knowledge we had in Sunday school like freaking 13 years ago, it's harder for us to internalize things that happen to us, in my opinion. Anyways, last question. Can you talk about your opinion on social media toxicity? I love you. Oh, I love you too, first of all. Second of all, that's gonna be a whole nother video. Because social media is so toxic. Like it's toxic, but it's also been a huge way of people connecting with each other. I mean, I'm not gonna go into like an ethical argument about social media, but I think, let me relate it to myself in ways that social media has been toxic for me, is that social media is one of the biggest ways to compare yourself to others. So I would say it makes you fall down that rabbit hole of comparing yourself. I would say it's harder to get closer to your deen because we're just fed so much information every single day, and unless your whole For You page or your whole social media presence is very Islamic, it's normally not going to be very beneficial to you, and you're going to be wasting a lot of your time, like doom scrolling, all that stuff. And then I noticed that whenever I used to be like really active on social media in terms of like posting, that obviously it gets likes and comments get very addicting. So I would find myself putting more makeup on or dressing more like immodestly because I knew that that looked pretty, and I knew that that was going to give me a positive reaction from everyone. You know what I mean? So I would say that being a little bit less on social media has helped me with my modest journey for sure. But also being on social media has helped me with my modest journey, because just the thought of like thousands of people seeing me when I'm not being like modest, or when I'm like doing tabarruj and having makeup and beautifying myself, and there's like a bunch of guys online who can see me, definitely like internalizing that has helped me be like, whoa, I need to work on that. I need to work on not wearing makeup. I need to work on being more modest. I need to work on what I'm putting out there, because once you put it out, you can never like take it back. Which one of the questions was, what is one of your biggest regrets? And I would say that not listening to my mom when she told me that be careful what you post online because you can never take it back. I wish I listened to her advice, because I mean, when you're on a journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and getting closer to Him, it's hard when that's publicized, because like you can never erase like old things, or like you're getting better tomorrow, but then you already posted everything about today. You know what I mean? Anywho, was that the last question? You know what, it needs to be, because the ramen's getting cold. So maybe I will do a part 2 on this video. Let me guys know if you want that. Here's my ramen. It's so beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I know the questions weren't like very personal, but honestly, I don't really want to answer personal questions online. I liked those questions. They were very introspective. I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.